Defending European champions Italy and England, of course, met in that final just over a summer ago. They've now been pitted against each other in their bid to qualify for Euro 2024. The draw took place this morning. Our chief reporter, Kaveh Solokol, is out in Germany for us. Let's speak to him live right now. Hi there, Kaveh. So England against Italy again, and of course there's the prospect of facing Ukraine in this qualifying group. So what's the reaction been to that?
Well, the reaction inside the draw hall behind me was one of excitement, really. There was real gasps when England and Italy were drawn together again. As you mentioned, the two sides played in the final of the Euros at Wembley last summer when Italy won on penalties. They're also in the same Nations League group. So these are two countries who know each other very, very well. Now, England are in Group C. The other teams in that group, of course, Italy, we just mentioned, also Ukraine. Now, this is going to be a very, very special occasion for the whole of Ukraine to be playing against England at Wembley, considering what is going on in Ukraine at the moment. We were lucky enough to speak to the Ukrainian manager who told us just how special it was for his country to be in this group and to be looking forward to playing against England at Wembley next year. Also, North Macedonia are in this group, and they should not be underestimated because they pulled off one of the biggest shocks in world football just a few months ago. If you remember that World Cup playoff against Italy, when they beat Italy and knocked Italy out of the World Cup finals. The reason Italy are not in Qatar in November and December at the World Cup finals this year is because they were beaten by North Macedonia. And the final team in Group C are Malta as well. So very interesting group that England are in. Lots of big stories surrounding these games that are going to be played next year. Straight after the draw, we managed to speak to both Gareth Southgate and Roberto Mancini. This is what they had to say.
Yeah, well, there's not too many surprises. They've changed the team a lot for all of those different matches. So we know the quality they have. We know the depth that they have. And yeah, England's record against Italy generally is not very good. So we've got to improve that.
Don't change nothing for us. I think that maybe Italy and England will be favored in this group, but you know, like I say, it is important to play all the game 100%.
Of course, obviously not just England involved in this draw. Tough draws for Scotland and the Republic of Ireland. Just to run us through who they will come up against, Kaveh.
Yes, I mean, it looks tough for Scotland, but actually speaking to the Scotland manager, Steve Clarke, I think he was quite pleased with the draw that Scotland got. They are in Group A. If we look at Group A now, of course, you'll see that Spain are in that group. That is going to be a very, very tough game for Scotland. Also, Norway are in Scotland's group. We all know about Haaland, Erling Haaland, and what he can do. So he's a player that Scotland have to look out for. Also, Georgia and Cyprus in Group A. But looking at that group, you have to say Scotland have got a pretty decent chance of finishing in the top two in that group. Of course, finishing the top two, you get into the Euros in Germany in 2024. As far as Ireland are concerned, this is arguably the toughest qualifying group of the lot as far as the home nations and Ireland are concerned. Ireland in a group with Netherlands, who were the top seeds in this group. Also France, who were in pot one, but there was actually a pot higher than France, the Nations League semi-finalist pot. So Ireland, a really, really difficult group for them. Greece and Gibraltar also in that group. And what will be interesting when Ireland play France, of course, everybody will be talking about that Thierry Henry handball incident in the playoff. Interestingly, we were speaking to the Ireland manager Stephen Kenny. I asked him about whether he'd forgiven and forgotten that infamous incident. Forgiven Thierry Henry for that yet. That interview with Stephen Kenny will be coming up in the next hour on Sky Sports News.
Oh, I look forward to that. Yes, God, what a moment that was. Playing basketball, basically, wasn't he? What about Wales and Northern Ireland, Kaveh? How will they be feeling after what's happened in Frankfurt today?
Again, I think as far as Wales are concerned, let's start with Wales. Their manager, Rob Page, I think he's not going to come out in public and say he was happy with the draw, but I think privately they accept that it could have been a lot worse for Wales. They are in Group D, where they're up against Croatia. Croatia, the top seeded team in that group. They'll be up against one of the best players in the world, Luka Modric. Also in their group are Armenia, Turkey and Latvia. Again, looking at that group on paper, you would say that Wales are very capable of finishing in the top 2 in that group and qualifying for Euro 2024. As far as Northern Ireland are concerned, you have to say it could have been much worse for Northern Ireland, because Northern Ireland were in pot 5, so they were expecting to get a very tough draw whatever happened. But again, looking at it on paper, you would say that Northern Ireland, they have a chance of getting out of this group. The group is Denmark, Finland, Slovenia, Kazakhstan and San Marino. So you'd have to say on paper a good draw for Northern Ireland as well. Of course, at the moment everybody is thinking about the World Cup finals in Qatar in November and December, but today all the talk here has been of Euro 2024 in Germany. And I think if you're a football fan, you will be looking forward to this tournament, because Germany, of course, has such a rich football culture and history, and also all the stadiums for this tournament are already built. 9 of them were used in the World Cup finals in 2006. And if you're a fan of England, Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland or Ireland, it's something that you can afford to go to in the summer of 2024. Should be a great month of football, and here's hoping that all those countries do qualify for what promises to be a very special Euros in Germany in 2024.
It will come around before we know it. Kaveh, thank you very much indeed.